Hi, I'm Giles, the Technical Director of Havilah Resources. Today we are wanting to give you some insights into the work we're doing on the Kalkaroo Starter Open Pit project. Richard Buckley, a Havilah Senior Mining Engineer, is here with me today, and I thought it would be really helpful for our shareholders, Richard, if you could discuss some of the mine planning aspects and the rationale behind it for us.
Yeah, happy to do that, Chris. Basically, we've been able to consider a gold-only mining scenario because of a couple of factors at Kalkaroo. Firstly, Kalkaroo has an oxidised gold cap and it sits on the large sulphide main ore body. And also we've got some comparatively shallow depths before the gold actually comes to the surface. So what we've chosen to do is to look at a small startup pit at Kalkaroo. And we've been able to do that because of the depths, but also because of the gold price.
Yes, and of course the advantage of the smaller gold-only alternative is that the capital requirements, or the CapEx, is much smaller, and it's likely to be within Havilah's reach. So you've got your computer here, Vulcan running, so how about you tell us some more and just explain some of the stuff visually to our shareholders.
Okay, no worries, Chris. So what we'll first do is I'm just going to load up the data on the screen, but you can see here that we've actually been able to drill quite a number of holes. We've recently transitioned from air core to RC to go to get deeper hole lengths. And you see that what we're trying to really prove up is the starter pit area.
Yep.
Now I'm just going to put up the saprolite gold. Well, firstly I'll put the Namba, or the upper tertiary gold occurrence that we're seeing, and if I put a reference to that, we look at the starter pit. The starter pit really is focused towards that upper tertiary. Under that we've got our saprolite gold, and that comes in at just between 50 to 60 metres below the surface. And as you can see there, that's under the first pit, but it's certainly within the second stage of the pit, which we're planning. And then finally we've got the native copper zone, which is below that again. And that's also within the second and the third stage of the pit. So here's the third stage of the pit. And basically we're looking at about 9 million cubic metres of overburden to generate about 3 million tonnes of ore at about a gram per tonne that we're going to be looking at processing over about 3-year duration. And the big key for us here is that under this ore body is our sulphide ore body. So what we're really doing here is pre-stripping the top off. So if I just show our shareholders what the end game here is about, and it's about this large sulphide ore body that sits under there, and that's encompassed within our PFS pit that we had.
Yeah, so it's pretty evident, Richard, that we're really just scratching the surface with the starter pit, aren't we? The gold-only starter pit. And I guess the key thing is that you want to dig the minimum amount of dirt, because every tonne of dirt you dig costs you dollars. And so on your pit designs there, they're actually optimised to get the maximum amount of gold for the minimum amount of ore removal.
That's right.
Waste removal, sorry.
Exactly. So Chris, what we've staged it at is based on duration. So
yeah.
Based on our experience digging in this material before, we've been able to work through how long it's going to take to mine. So we're going to be able to access first ore in about 3 months.
Yep.
And then after that, it'll take about 6 to 9 months to get to the main ore body, and then a further year to a year and a half to finalise that pit.
Yep.
And as we said, as we've released before, we're looking at between 80 to 90,000 ounces total out of those stage pits.
Yeah, for minimum amount of waste overburden removal.
That's correct.
And when we mine that stage 3 pit, the blue one there, we'll actually have the main copper ore body exposed on the pit floor, won't we?
That's right. So basically what we're doing is pre-stripping the sulphide ore body, or the main copper ore body. So we're hopeful that the extensional drilling that we're doing will extend this third pit into a fourth and a fifth,
yes,
and potentially a 10th pit. Who knows?
Yeah.
And what we're doing really is staging it and pre-stripping it for the copper ore body.
Yeah, and eventually we'll mine the big pit that's there, the brown one that's on your screen. Yeah. So I guess that's the mining aspect. The other aspect, of course, is the processing, and we've been doing a lot of work on the processing. We've done a lot of metallurgical test work, and we've come up with a process flow sheet. As staff have been working very hard on the PEPA, the environmental reports are required, and site layouts. Perhaps you could just give us a bit of an insight into where we're at with that as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so certainly what we've been able to do over the last 6 months or so while the guys are out there drilling is really start to look at how we would plan out this pit. And a pit obviously is more than just digging it up. We have to be able to process it. We have to have a layout. We have to have a waste dump sort of set up as well. So on the screen here, you'll see that we've basically got our layout defined. There's our pits. Here's our pits over here, and also we've got 2 waste dumps that facilitate the removal of the overburden. We've got our processing plant, and we've got some tailings storage facilities in our ROM area. So all of those things are required when we put together our PEPA, or our environmental licence to operate. And we're very close to having a lot of those plans and projects and reports done. And as you said, one of the key areas here is the processing, and this is just looking a bit more into what we're proposing for processing. It's more of a conventional circuit, so we've got a CIL plant with a crusher front end and a trommel or scrubber, and so we're planning to have that at about 750,000 tonne throughput a year. Which will match the stages of our operation.
Very good. And I noticed there on that plan we have a gravity circuit as well. The gold is generally quite fine, but we think gravity will be helpful to get what coarser gold there is, plus also native copper. We expect there'll be a lot of native copper as we get lower down in that gold zone.
Yeah, that's right. And what we're trying to do, and we've been working in conjunction with an engineering company, is we're trying to make this not only a modular plant, but scalable. Because it's very important to us that if we are able to unlock further extensions of the pit, that we're able to scale up the project as well. Because currently, as it stands, we're looking at 20 to 30,000 ounces per annum. But we know this material. We know how to dig it. Yeah. Once we get the processing right, we should be able to scale that up and maybe double the throughput and double the amount of ounces.
Yep, that's a big factor. So I guess the big question everybody asks, Richard, is when do we think we could kick this off realistically?
That's right. Well, if we had our environmental approval and our financing sort of set, I think we could go pretty soon. Now, in our timeline, we're looking at in the second half of next year is really achievable. And I believe that even before that, we might be able to get some site works underway, given that we actually own the property that the mine is located on.
Yeah, well, that's a big factor, actually. We do own the property, so we don't have any restrictions there with access. So that's a really good goal that we're working towards. And needless to say, everyone in the Havilah team will be working very hard to achieve that outcome while the gold prices are where they are. So on that note, Richard, I think we'll sign out until next time. In the meantime, to all our shareholders and friends, stay safe and well.